Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgie Man and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Berserk chapter 372. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? I thought this chapter was fantastic. I think so far in the story, Studio Gaga and, Mori have been just absolutely killing it. I'm very grateful, first of all, for them to continue the story after Miura's passing, and I just think that this chapter, it really showed how much their art has improved ever since they took over, because personally I thought this chapter looked amazing, whether it was Casca and all the drawings of her or it was Griffith. Like, their Griffith was stellar. Now, before we get into this week's chapter, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all Berserk anime and manga content in the near future. I would really appreciate if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps out a lot, so please, if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So the chapter picks up and we get to see a point of view of Casca when she was being taken away by Griffith, because we saw how Guts reacted to it, and now we get to see how Casca was reacting through it all, and it's very heartbreaking. You see just Casca just reaching out to Guts, and she's just like, please don't go. And it's just devastating to see, because we know that she just got her memories back, and the person that she wanted to see the most was Guts. And I just find it very tragic because throughout the whole story, Guts has been trying to reunite with Casca and get her memories back, and when she does get her memories back, she gets taken away by Griffith in the last chapter. And Casca, she is hurting too, because she was looking forward to seeing Guts, and now she's she got taken away by Griffith. Now, following that up, we see that Casca wakes up, and it looked like she was having a dream of some sorts, and she obviously experienced that, but she looks like she's having flashbacks of it in this dream. And she wakes up and she's in this palace, and it's Griffith's palace, obviously, in Falconia. And then she's tended to by a bunch of maids, and they all dress her up and why not, and then they give her this dress. And I just gotta say that I love the way that they drew this dress. I thought the dress looked fantastic, and I think that, like I said, Studio Gaga and Mori have been killing with the art, and I really strongly believe that this chapter really encapsulated Miura's artwork. If it wasn't to a T, but it's still it gave me the spirit and the vibe of Miura. And I just want to once again give props to Studio Gaga and Mori, because they've been killing it. And after we see Casca in this dress, you see her kind of doing being tended by the maids. She's walking around, she looks outside, she sees the world tree, and she's kind of like glimmering at it, like kind of like she knows something's up. And then she goes outside, and then you see all these soldiers marching, and the mates explain that they're the band of the Hawk. They're gonna go into battle, and Casca, she starts crying, and it gave me a little bit of a flashback to when Griffith was crying when it came down to the Moonlight Boy, when the Moonlight Boy was still taking over Griffith's body. The tears came down, and it gave me that sense, because Casca has not been herself, even when she was being dressed up with the dress, and the way she went outside, she the way that she was just caring about herself, it didn't seem like the Casca we knew. And from what I've taken, it seems like she's in a trance. If not, she's been having mental blocks blocking her, because what we see going forward in the chapter is that we see her go take a bath, and during the bath she's starting to look at water, and she starts reflecting, and these little memories starting coming back to her. And as these memories keep building up, she eventually sees Shirke and our girl Farnese, and the Dawn. She sees them all, and she starts just freaking out, because she realizes something's up. She gets all these, she knows that she's not supposed to be here, and she starts freaking out, and she gets out of the bath, and she starts just trying to get out of there, and the mates are trying to stop her, but it's to no avail, because Casca, obviously, we know she's a trained soldier, and she was a great hand-to-hand fighter. I mean, she was the sub commander of the Band of the Hawk before Guts. So she's a very competent fighter, and we see this in this chapter, because what happens is one of the guards tries to withhold her, just tries to make sure that she doesn't freak out and keep her in her place. And Casca, she grabs the sword from him, pushes him with a kick, and cuts off his arm within an instant. Casca, we knew she is a badass. We always known she's a badass, but it was awesome seeing Casca once again kick ass, because it's been a while. We saw a little bit of a sparring session with her and Isidro, and I thought it was cute. And even she said that she's rusty, but we all know that Casca is an absolute badass, and it was great seeing her once again pick up a sword and just kick ass. And following that up, we see that Casca, she starts telling herself I need to get out of here, because I know what Guts must be going through right now. If I don't go back, I know Guts, like, and then it cuts off, and I can only assume that what she means is that she knows that the beast of darkness is taking over Guts. You know, like, she knows that Guts has gone through so much trauma, and she knows that, you know, she finally, you know, was reunited with him, and that's the one thing that he's always been striving for and looking forward to. And she knows that, you know, her being taken away will most likely emotionally break him. And we already saw that in the previous chapters, where Guts, you know, he's probably at his weakest when it comes to a mental state in the entire series, because he's just at his breaking point, like I said. So then after all that, we see that Casca goes back to sleep. The next thing we see is that Griffith and his top commanders, Locust, Irwin, Grumdal, and Zod, they're all there, you know, and we see that, you know, he's presenting himself, and, you know, Irvin, you know, he's leaning down, and, you know, he's like, the bird, you know, she's trapped in her cage and she won't be making any noise, like. And then we see Griffith, and it pans to him, and we see that he's looking at the world tree, and everybody's like, okay, what's our next move? And Griffith is just like, east. Then we see this menacing look that Griffith always projects, you know, and it's just beautifully drawn. I thought that final panel was great, the way it was drawn. Now, as for what is happening to Casca, I have a couple of theories, and I think that she's obviously being under a spell of some sorts. Now, is Griffith the one putting her under a spell? I don't think so. My number one, you know, suspect when it comes to that, I would say it would most likely be Sonya, because we know that Sonya is devoted to Griffith. Like, she is Griffith's number one fan, arguably, you know, only second to Charlotte, but she is, you know, very devoted to Griffith, and we know that she'll go through any lengths, you know, just to get Griffith's, you know, admiration. And I'm assuming the second that Casca got to Falconia, the first thing that Griffith did was give Casca to Sonya, and then Sonya put a mental block, or kind of, you know, like, she got inside her mind and, you know, kind of erase some of her memories from the past. And we know that Sonya is very good at, you know, seeing people's minds, just like we saw with Shurikid when they first met. And I'm guessing that that's what she's doing right now. She's putting mental blocks on Casca, and, you know, not letting her, you know, remember anything. She's just kind of in a trance. Like, Casca just looks like she's sleepwalking, to be honest, because she just looks like she's, you know, going on with her day without any real understanding of what's happening. She kind of just seems like she's in autopilot, and it's very sad to see. And if I had to guess, I think what's going to happen is that, you know, eventually these mental blocks are not going to be working, and Casca is going to be, you know, she's going to break out of them. Either that, or I think that Sonya, she's going to realize that the more mental blocks she puts, the harder it is to constrain Casca, and eventually she's going to have to keep digging deeper and deeper into her memories until she, you know, witnesses what Griffith did to Casca in the eclipse. And I think that will be the breaking point for Sonya, when she starts realizing, like, you know, the guy that I admire, the guy that I've been, you know, looking up to this entire time, he's no saint. He is a monster. And I wouldn't be too surprised if, you know, at the end of the day, the one that saves Casca is actually Sonya. You know, she breaks her out, or gets her out of Falconia after she were to find out about the eclipse through Casca's memories. But that's just my speculation. Now, as for why Griffith said, let's head to the east, I don't know, but I have two theories. One of them being that I think that that's the last realm that he needs, like, that there might be a world tree there that he has to take out, and after that, you know, it'll be GG. Like, he'll be the supreme leader of the world, in other sense. I think that's the last one he has to take out, or maybe that's somewhere along the lines where the God Hand is going to be formed once again. I don't know, but I think that those are my theories, that he has to do something along that, or that he's just trying to conquer the world and that's his last realm that he's missing. But with that being said, I thought this chapter was fantastic, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see, you know, where the story goes from here, because now we're starting a new section of the story, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, with that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Berserk anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.